Welcome to another In Wheel Time podcast, a 30-minute mini version of the In Wheel Time car show that airs live every Saturday morning, 8 to 11 a.m. Central. Podcast channel. It is the In Wheel Time car talk show. Coming up, we're going to talk to Bill Szelag about a big Veterans Day car show that you can plan for. It's coming up. You'll want to go. Bastrop Town going to host that thing.
Beautiful downtown Bastrop.
It is. It's a very cute place. Conrad has This Week in Auto History. We'll get you caught up on the stories making car news this week. Howdy, along with Mike out of this world, Mars, down there in his studious position. King Conrad DeLong in the middle position. He's the cream and the cookie.
Yep.
And then we have over here
the cookie.
The outside of the cookie. It would be, we need more Jeff Seekin. I'm Don Armstrong. I'm down here opening the oven door. Thank you so much for joining us today. And welcome back for me.
I was wondering where that was going.
I wound up in Wisconsin a week ago today.
But you were heading to Arizona.
Yeah, I just made a wrong turn, that's all. But I had a great time. My cousin's birthday and great big birthday celebration. And
all family's good up there?
Family's good up there. What little I have left. And
lots of liquor.
Oh, this is Wisconsin, brother. Yeah, there's a tavern on every corner. Yeah, so just saying. All right.
Tavern, not bar.
Well, there's taverns and there's bars, and I don't know what the difference is. They all sell liquor. That's all I know. Anyway, Bill Szelag, he's been with us before, and he is with the Bastrop Area Cruisers. Bill, good morning.
Good morning to you guys. Thanks so much for having me on the show again.
Well, what you didn't know is that we had a kind of a round robin here about who you look like, and we've all voted in the fact that you look like Roger Penske.
I've been told that several times. To be honest with you, I have.
Well, that's a good thing.
Do you sign autographs?
So.
Do you sign autographs?
Where's the money? I wish I had the money.
Well,
no kidding.
You go in the bank and get it.
You can sign autographs. Just put that hat on, and I think away you go.
Okay. Well, thank you. Appreciate that.
Well, Bill, it's good to have you here. Bastrop Area Cruisers. How long? I didn't know there was a Bastrop Area Cruisers. So how long has Bastrop Area Cruisers been around?
We're going to be celebrating our 25th year next year. We've lived in the area 17 years, my wife and I. So we've been the members of the club, but so 25 years, and we've got about 160 members, which is pretty large for a relatively small town, growing like crazy, though.
So you survived the fire.
We did, yeah. We live on the east side of, on the west side of, and most of the fire was on the east side.
Yeah. Well, how's the recovery going? I'll tell you what, when you cross that bump in the road out there coming into Bastrop, and to see all of that forest gone, it just kills me every time.
There's quite a bit of growth, natural, and many millions of trees were planted also after the fire over the years. But I would say it's very green now, but they're a lot shorter than they used to be. That's for sure.
What did you do during the fire? Where were you? You at home?
We were at home, and we actually did have to evacuate our neighborhood also. Our neighborhood has oak trees and not as much pine trees, and it's a little more spread out. So we did have a few fires at the back of our development, but we made it through okay, and we were probably out of the house for about 8 or 10 hours or so.
Wow. How long ago was that? Was that 7 years ago?
It was 2011, I believe.
Wow. It was 2011.
Yeah.
Wow, that's quite a ways back. Well, we're not here to harp on that, but you've got a big Veterans Day car show coming up, and who all's invited? When is it?
Okay, well, it's November. Actually happens to be on Veterans Day this year, November 11th, and we also have a little cruise in the day before on Friday, the 10th. So everyone's invited. Obviously, there's no charge for spectators, and we encourage many people. There's been estimates of 6,000 or 7,000 people, give or take 1,000 here or there, depending on who's doing the estimate that attend. We limit the show to 400 cars because that's all we have room for, because it is downtown Bastrop where there's plenty of restaurants. So we close the streets. We work with the city, close off the streets. Our parking is a little challenging because we park 400 cars in less than an hour and a half or so. And we back the cars in, obviously, and the streets are narrow, somewhat narrow, but not too bad. And it's pre-registered only because of that limit. And the registration closes on Sunday, November 5th, unless we're full up ahead of time. And obviously, we always get people that want to get in on the last minute, the day or two before, but can't happen. No registration the day of the show, but that makes it a lot easier and a lot smoother for getting the cars in and registration and all that. But it's a great event and judged by class, which is unusual for such a large all make and model car show. So we give awards in 29 different classes.
Wow.
And we have 35 to 40 judges. So it attracts a pretty high quality of vehicle overall.
The 17th year, so you guys are well seasoned on putting this thing on.
Yes, we try to enhance it every year, and many times the enhancements works very smoothly. Sometimes the enhancements are de-enhancements, but
de-enhancements.
But sometimes that's not quite as evident to the people there. But we try to do the thing. We usually have at least 140 volunteers, and obviously many are our own members. Not all of our members are volunteers, but we get the high school automotive program from Bastrop High School. We get their students from their Skills USA group involved, and we get other high school students that are in the Honor Society, and many community volunteers. And of course, all of our businesses, both downtown and outside of the area, are heavily involved as sponsors. We've got probably 170 or so different sponsors at different levels for the event. So it's all good, you know.
Do you have to have crowd control and actually more along the lines of fuel control at the Buc-ee's there as you go in? Because even though they've got 1,000 gas pumps, I would imagine with all those cars coming in there, it's going to be kind of crowd.
Yes, yeah. One enhancement we did recently, about 2 years ago, is we have 2 entrances for the car show. So we cut down the parking time in half by having a south entrance and a north entrance. The entrance is off Pecan Street, and you kind of go down some side streets. I know a lot of people want to drive, turn into Main Street, but that's not allowed off of Chestnut. Chestnut is the Highway 150 that kind of crosses Main Street in Bastrop. But it's a beautiful downtown area. I was mentioning our sponsors. Many of the restaurants and almost all the businesses are sponsors. And our major sponsor for the event is Craig's Jewelry. They're our presidential sponsor, and Maxine's, which is a well-known restaurant downtown, is our admiral sponsor. And then we have colonel level sponsors, which are many of the car dealers in the area, as well as other businesses like many of the banks. Almost every bank is a sponsor.
How many people you got signed up already? I mean, 400 slots to a lot of people, that's a lot. But, I would imagine the popularity of your show is such that you've got people signed up already.
People coming back year after year.
Yeah, we started we got a brand new website too. So if you haven't had a chance to look at that, one of our members really did a great job in working with a website designer. And so registration is only online. We don't do the paper registrations anymore. Like I told you, the deadline was on November 5th. Right now, we're sitting at about 125 registrations already.
Wow. So if you're going to go, you better sign up.
Building fast. Yeah.
Like I said, don't wait till the last minute because they could fill up even by, November 2nd or 3rd.
And typically that part of November, the weather is usually really good. We don't have to deal with 100-degree temperatures, that's for sure.
Yeah, we don't know yet.
Yeah. We've lucked out pretty good. We've had a little bit of dampness a couple of years. Last year, Friday night, which we do have a cruise in, we call it on Friday night, and this year is from 5 p.m. to 9 p.m. I know Conrad has been there for the cruise in as well a couple of times, but it's kind of more informal. We still park all the cars on the street. It's closed off to any normal traffic, and people can just park on the street in a configuration similar to the car show. And we usually have discounts at many of the restaurants and shops downtown. There's also a great museum downtown that will be open on Friday and Saturday. And there's the show is a lot about veterans. I'll have to say that. It's about the cars and the veterans, because it's also as much a veterans tribute ceremony as it is a car show, because we actually have a march down the street, much like you might see at the airport when you have honor flight. when all the veterans are marching down and people are applauding and, and recognizing them for their service. And we have about a 4-block march down the street from the post office in Bastrop. It goes to the courthouse. And then there's a ceremony at the courthouse, and that takes place about 11:30 or so. We also have, and we just got confirmed that we have 2 vintage military airplanes that will be flying over. We do that every year, weather permitting, and that's in the plans this year again. So it's a great ceremony, and two local veterans are honored at that ceremony, both a officer and an enlisted person for their community service.
Bill, you have a lot of entrants from Bastrop itself?
Well, we do, but we haven't done it in the last year or two. But about 2 or 3 years ago, we actually did a zip code search, and over 35% were more than 100 miles away.
Yeah,
So
and I would imagine Austin, San Antonio, and Houston are the big cities.
Yes. And
Because I mean, when I think of Bastrop, I think, wow, that's pretty cool. It's like halfway to Austin.
Yeah.
It's always a good place to stop.
It's a destination.
It is, and it is also a destination.
Well, and you've got a good partnership with visitbastrop.com as well. And,
Exactly.
promoting Bastrop as a destination city and you being a part of it. So, Bill, you had mentioned earlier that you've been a member of the Bastrop Area Cruisers for 17 years, and this is the 17th year of the show. Are you kind of one of the founders of the show?
No. The show actually started before we became members for just a couple of years or so, and it originally started off Highway 21 in a small area, and then it moved downtown. So we've been around for the initial, you might say the third or fourth year, because we didn't join immediately when we got here. What you mentioned Visit Bastrop, because they are a big part of it. We get great support by the city, to put this thing on, because it's not an easy thing. We've been planning this every year. We get finished, and then we start planning it again in March.
I forgot what I was going to ask.
We need to plan a remote.
Are you going to show a car?
Well, that's one thing. When you host a show like this with your own club, we do not enter our cars. As a matter of fact, it's a requirement when you join the Bastrop Area Cruisers. Your membership form says that you're not going to enter a car in the show, because we have guests, and we don't want, and many of our members are judges, so we don't want things to be interpreted that we're judging our own cars. So we put our cars in a separate lot on display, and I do usually bring my 70 Oldsmobile Cutlass that we've owned for 49 years on display if I can, and then we give the participants, anybody who enters their car in a show, we give them 1 or 2 ballots, and we ask them to go look at our cars. So we do have awards, but it's entirely separate than the regular awards that we hand out to all the participants.
What would you say are the main cars that show up there? Are they classics, antiques, retro mods? I mean, whatever it is that. Give us an overview of some of the cars that show up there. Well,
I'd have to say it's quite a mix. I mean, obviously we've got some Corvette classes, so you've got the later model cars, the muscle cars, the Camaros, the Mopar muscle and things like that, late model. But we have a lot of unique vehicles. There's a lot of people, because this is a veterans event, that do special paint themes, veterans paint themes or patriotic paint themes. Of course, pickup trucks are big. We actually added a class this year. It's called Class N, Adventure Mobile. Jeeps, Broncos, Blazers, and non-military. We have some Jeeps that come in, military vehicles, and classics and antiques. I know there's one of our Oldsmobile Club members that comes down with his 27 Oldsmobile, and there usually are some 20s and 30s vehicles in there. Street rods, resto mods. It's really a mix, to be honest with you. I can't say that there's anything prevalent.
That is really
and they're all driven in. There's not a bunch of trailer queens show up to this. It's,
right.
Most everybody drives into the show.
Is there a limit? I mean, not a car like no newer than a certain year model, or is it open?
We do allow. We do have a class, and I'm glad you brought that up. We do have a class that's called K, which is newer cars and trucks So it's 2018 and newer, or let's see, 2018 and newer. Because like in some of our classes, if it's a class that there's not as many vehicles in, you don't want a brand new vehicle competing against a 1990 or 1995 vehicle.
Right.
So we put all those, it's a mix. Some people, say, well, why am I not in my Corvette class if I've got a new C8? Well, you're in with the new cars. So new cars and trucks are judged against each other. We number the spots. A lot of people wonder how we judge by class, but the same two judges judge the same cars in that class. It's not like we go down the line and you mix up all the cars together. We number the spots so those judges find the spots where those cars are at.
I was wondering how you did that, because you mentioned you put all 400 of them in an hour and a half. You got to have some sort of design to make that work and keep it to where everybody can find what they need.
Yeah, exactly. So the cars aren't, it would be impossible really to park the cars by class, because then it would take probably till 3 in the afternoon to get them all in there.
Now, on your website, do you show the kinds of classes of cars, like, for instance, N, what N would be?
Yes. Well, I guess I don't understand totally your question.
Well, for instance, I have a 2001 Corvette, and I'm sure that falls under one of your categories of classes. And are there? I mean, it wouldn't be just a 2001. It would be, I don't know, 10 years worth of.
I think I get what you're asking for. For one thing, there are some classes, there are some vehicles that could fit in more than one class. We only allow somebody to register a car in one class because we don't want somebody to win 2 awards with the same vehicle.
Of course.
But I think what you're getting at is, how do they know what class do they need to be in? In most cases, they do know, but we have a great communication process through our email, through our Google email, where they can ask the judge a question. Hey, do I fit in this class or that class? Or when we get the registrations in, we'll look at them and we'll say, well, I don't know if this really fits in there, so like a class that's many times confused is the survivors.
Well, the reason that I ask is because, if I'm a real show kind of guy, and this is really important to me, I need to have some sort of idea of what I'm competing against. Mm-hmm. Not that I'm going to change anything, but I need.
Don wants to enter into the class that there's only one car in so he can win.
Yeah, no, that's not it at all. Just to have an idea of what my competition is.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't want to go up against some guy that has a trailer queen that he's going to show up, and he's going to beat me right out of the box.
No, but it sounds like you've kind of got it laid out to where if Don registers his Corvette, he's got to do it ahead of time. So when he shows up, he's going to know what class he's in, what group he's in. He's going to know where to park his car because you've got a numbered system. And all these to me, that sounds like it's pretty cool. It's a lot better than a lot of places.
We park the cars as they come in, so they don't really know where they're going to park. We number them after they pull in.
Gotcha.
Okay, so you do it so you can track them afterwards. Okay.
Yeah, and that's an important point too. Obviously, many times, and we do have 2 awards for club participation. Which club brings the most cars? And one is a cash award of $100 plus a trophy. And the other was $50 for the second highest number of cars. But if you want to park together with your friends or fellow club members, you have to drive in together. There's no way that we save spots.
So Bill, we're running out of time here. So let's get everybody an address where they can go to register and look at all of the things that they need to know going to the big show.
BastropAreaCruisers.com. Is the place to go. Our new website. It's a really good job, and you can click right there and register. You pick and also the registration fee is $35, but that includes a show T-shirt. If you show up for the event, you get your T-shirt included with the price of the $35 registration. And go online and use any type of credit card, and that's the main way to register, the only way to register, really.
Bill, it's great to talk to you. Thank you so much for joining us today. Best of luck. Let's touch bases again when we get closer to November.
Okay, sounds good. Appreciate it very much.
Thank you. I love that. I didn't know all of that, so it's good to know.
Yeah, I was looking at the calendar. He said November the 11th is their event. If Stan happened to hit the third Saturday of the month, that would be the following Saturday, the 18th. And then the following Saturday would be Autorama. We could go on a road trip for 3 weeks.
Yeah, there you go.
Just saying.
Just saying.
I need a permission
All
slip.
right, time now for This Week in Auto History here on the In Wheel Time Car Talk Show. Conrad has that.
Well, I know Jeff is a fan of the of a couple of cars, so we'll have a little bit of that in
Well,
here.
thank you, Conrad.
In 1954, the Ford Thunderbird began production. The original T-Bird, very iconic car. And then in 1959, the Ford Falcon was introduced as well. Not quite as iconic, but some pretty cool Falcons. There was a Sprint with a little Hypo 289 available. And, to a large degree, that was the foundation.
We made so much fun of those cars. Come on.
They're
But that was
sleepers.
the foundation of the Mustang.
I understand that, but it
Sleeper.
sure didn't look like that.
And then you could also get that in a Ranchero, which I thought was a cool car.
That would have been okay, but that one there that you're showing,
That's the four-door.
You could easily tub it out.
And then in 1980, Willie Nelson hits the charts with "On the Road Again."
Okay.
So
I'm seeing younger faces on money.
and then
that's good.
In 1989, Lexus begins car sales here in the USA.
Yes.
There you go.
Which is just a derivative, an upscale version of the Toyota. Last week we talked about the Mazda Amati brand that kind of bombed. Well, Lexus to this day is still quite a desirable car in the industry. Yeah. And then in 1994, the National Corvette Museum opens up. Have you been, Don?
I never have.
You got to go.
I know that. I do.
They have big, huge Corvette events every year. You can actually get an RPO on your Corvette for museum delivery, and they will deliver you the vehicle right from the museum. It's a desirable RPO to have if you're going to own a Corvette forever. And then in 2002, the last Mercury Cougar was built. Now, that's a 69 Eliminator.
That's a
Yeah,
good-looking
buddy.
car there.
That's the 302. That was the Mercury version of the Boss 302 Mustang with the Boss 302 engine.
School buddy of mine had a 390.
That was kind of my favorite year for Cougars. But you can get some pretty cool engines in Cougars. 428 Cobra Jets. There were two Cougars that were built with the Boss 429, but they were built for the Wood Brothers kids.
Yeah, large money today.
So the last Cougar was built in 2002, and the last Cougar was not a desirable Cougar. That was that little import-looking thing.
Yep.
And then in 2006, the Bentley Continental GTC production begins. If you're into Bentleys, beautiful car as well. And actually, that kind of a featured car in Gulf Coast Auto Works. You can see them working on the front of one of those as they're putting a front
sealant,
protector on it.
Protector.
So that's This Week in Auto History. Back to you, Don.
All right. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. An evaluation of 25 vehicle brands' consumer privacy policies found that none of them offer adequate protection, according to Mozilla's Privacy Not Included survey. Each brand collects too much data, can share or sell too widely, and fails to grant drivers control over their data, according to Mozilla. This survey was released on Tuesday, the story from Automotive News. The Privacy Not Included survey, launched in 2017, found that all 25 car brands reviewed collect more personal data than necessary and use that information beyond operating the vehicle. Some brands even collect data about drivers' sex lives and genetics. Automakers harvest personal information through sensors,
It's cameras,
microphones, cameras, connected phones, and other devices, company websites, dealerships, and vehicle telematics, according to Mozilla.
There was a feature this week on Nissan.
Privacy Not Included has reviewed smart speakers, data apps, robot vacuums, and even sex toys. This is the first time the survey has reviewed car brands.
Don's going, where are mine?
Golly. So Big Brother is watching
Yes,
and
they are.
using the data. So
And selling it.
and selling it. Yeah. Yeah, I've always wondered how all of a sudden things will appear on my Facebook feed. It's like, what? Where did that come
Do
from?
they list it on the Maroni?
They
No,
don't
no,
list.
no,
No,
no, no.
it's not listed anywhere.
You would be surprised what access OnStar has to your life. Where
That's what I'm
you
saying,
go,
yeah.
where you've been, how fast you got there, what's going on. They can actually turn the microphones on and listen inside your car if they choose to.
Well, I have a car that doesn't have that. I have a 2001 model. I'm sure if I use my phone in the car, they know where the car is, but that's all that they know.
You don't even have to use your phone; just have it in your pocket.
Well, that's what I'm
In
saying.
some cases, yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Yes, to have the phone turned on in your car, they know where the car is. It's kind of scary, actually,
It's extremely scary.
Yeah.
Big Brother's watching,
all the time.
and they're going to figure out a way to tax you for whatever it is you do.
Ford Motor Company said it will spend about $270 million to fix an issue with rear view cameras that has plagued several models, according to a document filed Friday with the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission. Thank you, Automotive News, for this. The affected vehicles are the 2020 to 2023 Ford Explorer and Lincoln Aviator, 20 to 22 Lincoln Corsair, 22 to 23 Ford Transit, 18 to 21 Lincoln Navigator, and 21 Ford Bronco. More than 422,000 Explorer, Aviator, and Corsair models equipped with a 360-degree camera were recalled in May for an issue with the rear-view cameras that caused blue or black screens when the vehicles were in reverse and when the 360-degree view was selected. Ford later determined that camera hardware contributed to the blue or black screens experienced by consumers. Part of that action, Ford is also recalling the 20 to 23 Lincoln Aviator, a bunch of other ones. The recall affects more than 169,000 of those vehicles. Ouch, that's some big bucks that they're having to cough up. That's it for this hour of the In Wheel Time Car Talk Show. Quick break now. We'll be right back. We invite you to stay with us. The original group of Lupi Tortilla restaurants will have you telling your family and friends just what the original recipes mean when it comes to the best fajitas in Southeast Texas. Founder Stan Holt invites you to visit the original Lupi Tortilla near I-10 and Highway 6. Here's the original house that inspired the design of all the rest and the original charm that helped make Lupi Tortilla the go-to destination for Houston Tex-Mex. Speaking of original, nothing can compete with the original lime pepper marinade that everyone will agree makes Lupi Tortilla award-winning beef fajitas the best anywhere. Lupi Tortilla Katy is another location that gives you the same quality and service Houstonians have come to expect at Lupi's. It's located just off I-10 and the Grand Parkway at Kingsland Boulevard in Katy. Find yourself in Aggie Land? Head to the Lupi Tortilla in College Station, located just around the corner from Kyle Field. It's a great place to enjoy those famous frozen margaritas before or after the game. Headed east to Louisiana, stop in at the Lupi Tortilla in Beaumont. It too's on I-10. You can't miss it. The original group of Lupi Tortilla restaurants invites you in for the best Tex-Mex anywhere. You own a car you love. Well, why not let Gulf Coast Auto Shield protect it? Houstonian John Gray invites you to his state-of-the-art facility to introduce you to his specialist team of auto enthusiasts. We promise you'll be impressed. Whether you're looking to massage your original paint to a like-new appearance, apply a ceramic coating, install a paint protection film, nano-ceramic window tint, or new windshield protection called ExoShield, Gulf Coast Auto Shield is where Houston's car people go. Curbed your wheels? Instead of buying new, why not have them repaired? How about a professionally installed radar detector? Gulf Coast Auto Shield does that too. Get a peek inside the shop and look at the services offered by getting online and heading to gcautoshield.com. Better yet, stop by their facility at 11275 South Sam Houston Tollway, just south of the Southwest Freeway, and get a personal tour. Gulf Coast Auto Shield is your place to go for all things exterior. Call them today, 832-930-5655 or gcautoshield.com. The award-winning In Wheel Time Car Talk Show is available on the most popular podcast channels out there in 30-minute episodes. We realize our 3-hour live show can be difficult to catch in its entirety, so now you can listen every day to a convenient, fresh 30-minute episode. Check us out on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Amazon Music, and Audible, along with a dozen more. In Wheel Time has the most informative automotive guest interviews and new car reviews, along with popular features including Conrad's Car Clinic and This Week in Auto History, along with automotive news headlines. Our live broadcast airs every Saturday, 8 to 11 Central on InWheelTime.com, the iHeart app, and on YouTube. Be sure to say hello when we're broadcasting from the Tailpipes and Tacos Cruise-In, Autorama, and the Houston Auto Show, among others. Now, it's easier than ever to hear about all things automotive all week long. You're invited to join fellow car enthusiasts in becoming part of the ever-growing In Wheel Time Car Talk family. Don't forget those 30-minute podcast episodes on your favorite podcast channel. That's it for this podcast episode of the In Wheel Time Car Show. I'm Don Armstrong, inviting you to join us for our live show every Saturday morning, 8 to 11 a.m. Central on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and our InWheelTime.com website. Podcasts are available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, iHeart Podcast, Podcast Addict, TuneIn, Pandora,